Welcome to the Lines in the Water podcast, a podcast where we talk about the ins and outs of saltwater fishing and saltwater tournament fishing. I am your co-host, Carlos Obregon, and Captain Todd, our Vince Neal, could not be here today. He's on vacation, so I'm joined by my guest co-host sitting in for Captain Todd, the fruit of my loins, Captain Carlos Obregon II. And we're also joined by Coastal Bend, up and coming tournament angler, Brock Barton. How's it going, guys?
It's doing well. Thanks for having us.
Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome. So, Brock, every single podcast, I started asking, when's the last time you went fishing?
Last time I went fishing was Artificial Showdown last weekend.
Oh, tournament.
Yes.
How'd y'all do?
Not very good. Not very good. We caught a lot of great fish pre-fishing, including that almost 10-pound trout we caught.
10-pound trout.
Almost, yeah. It was a hair under 10.
Yeah.
Big girl.
Yeah, by far the heaviest trout and probably the longest trout I've ever seen with my eyes. So,
Where'd y'all go?
Baffin.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So those of us who listen all the way in Delaware.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have listeners in Delaware. Baffin Bay produces, obviously, big trout.
Oh, yeah.
So you were pre-fishing for the tournament,
Yes.
Artificial Showdown. How many days did you guys pre-fish?
I was able to pre-fish 3 days. Will was down there with a couple of our buddies. I think he fished all week, so Monday through Friday.
So you guys were on fish and just...
I wouldn't say we were like catching them, consistently.
Mhm.
We caught that 9-pounder, and then went back to that same spot 2 days later to kind of verify,
Mhm.
see if we can catch another one out there. And caught a 4-pounder or 4.5-pounder in like a span of 20 minutes. So we just backed out of there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what we were doing overall. We catch 2 good fish. We're like, okay, we see,
Yeah.
we saw what we needed to see, and then get out of there. But yeah, on tournament day, I think we were just a little fatigued from fishing, so many days in a row.
Right.
We actually slept on the boat in our spot.
Oh,
And it was, I don't know if y'all remember that morning, it was, drizzling, cold outside. So
Wait,
we're
so this was
miserable.
Saturday, so the front rolled in.
Front rolled in, I believe, Friday. Or no,
Mm.
Thursday the front rolled in, the
Yeah.
second front.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a cool week because you got to see a lot of good weights on fish, and we had 2 cold fronts back to back. So yeah, that really kind of plumped the fish out,
Yeah.
and they were heavier.
Nice, nice. What about you? When's the last time you went fishing?
Oh, never like, what's today?
Today is Thursday.
Like Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday night, yeah.
How'd you do?
Had pretty good. A lot of 15-inch trout. Was fishing lights, and then caught like 124.
Ooh,
Nice one.
wow.
It was fat. Yeah. It was a pretty fat one, but it was alright.
So, one thing I want to talk about on this episode is you guys wade fish,
Mhm.
and that's what you guys do.
Yeah.
And basically, one of the things that we do in this podcast is we want to educate anglers of all skill levels about the joys, obviously the ins and outs of saltwater fishing, like I always say. So, Brock, how did you get? First off, where are you originally from?
I'm born and raised here in Corpus.
Oh,
Yep.
born and raised.
Home court advantage.
How long you been fishing?
Wade fishing about 4.5 years.
So not very long.
No, not very long.
What got you started with wading?
Well, I've always kind of fished here and there growing up, and my grandpa would take me to the canals. He had a spot out there, and we just throw bait off the dock, and I didn't really have an interest in it. It was kind of boring to me at that time because I was a crazy little kid, could sit still, But in 2021, me and Will used to work together in the oil field,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Hey, you want to go fish with me tomorrow?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah." He's like, "We're gonna wade fish though." I was like, "No, I've never done that before." he's like, okay, well, let's go to Roy's. So I got, rod and reel, all the necessities, and then went out to Baffin, fished the South Shore line of Baffin, and my first my first time ever wading, I caught a limited drum on lures,
Oh,
which
wow.
is
On lures?
which is kind of weird.
Black drum?
Black drum. Yep.
Jesus.
Yep. And they're all laughing at me when I get back to the boat. They're like, of course you would be the one to catch a limited drum, first time. So, ever since then, I just, really fell in love with it, got more passionate about it, and here I am now. Yeah.
So, now I know you through Todd.
Yep.
How did you meet Captain Todd?
First time I ever met him, I was with Adrian Washnag. We were fishing down in Baffin.
First off, how did you meet Adrian?
I've known, his stepson, Braden,
Mm-hmm.
he grew up with me. So I've always known Cammie forever, and then me and Braden were close friends. And then, when she married Adrian, we just started hanging out with them. I used to work for Adrian too, and I was like 18.
Okay.
So got to know him through that, and then now we hang out and fish together and stuff like that now.
And then through Adrian met Todd.
Yep, at his cabin in Comporta. Yep.
First
First time ever, I never even knew who Todd was, and then first thing he told me, he's like, "Hey, you want a beer?" Hey, whatever. Yeah. And then, and then didn't really see Todd much after that, and then I think it was like three years ago we got pretty close, and he's like a second dad to me now. But,
Yeah, he can grow on you.
oh yeah, that's he's all right.
So, Carlos, how long? You know how hard it is for me to call you Carlos?
I know.
Call him son.
No.
That's how you know he's in trouble. Right?
So, how long? So, I mean, obviously, I know how long you've been fishing.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, the rest of the audience that wants to get to know you don't. Now, you started freshwater fishing with me when you were little.
Mm-hmm.
What got you into saltwater? Because I was not part of that.
So what really got me into saltwater fishing was whenever I lived with my mom and my stepdad, we lived in Key West, the fishing capital of the world, definitely, Key West, Florida. And we would just go and fish with his buddies off bridges and catching mangrove snapper a lot, like every night. And that just sparked something in me. I don't know. And then right after moving to Key West, we moved to Jacksonville, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where it really started. I would go and fish the jetties for bull reds by myself, riding a bike,
Yeah.
and me being like, how old was I? Like maybe like 10, 11, taking my pen reel and pen rod, cheapest combo, and just throwing it out there and catching 40-inch bull reds. Like,
Dude, I have a
it was
picture.
pretty cool.
So that Christmas, he asked for a bike,
Mm-hmm.
and his mom sent me a picture of his bike, and it had like a milk crate in the front.
yeah, I set it all up.
Yeah,
Nice.
little rack in the back for his tackle box.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, 2 months later, he's sending me pictures. He's like 11 years old, holding up this 40-inch bull red.
It's bigger than
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, it was pretty much bigger than me, and then I flagged down these random people, and I was like, "Hey, can you take a picture of me with this big fish?" And they were like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, it was
That's
pretty
cool.
cool. But yeah, and I'd always go and ride my bike, and then hire guides there and go fish.
Did you ever fish with that Brock, Captain Brock, that was viral?
Oh,
Oh, that guy.
I forgot his last name.
the best.
Dude, I'm like doomed if I ever want to be a guide someday because my first name's
Yeah,
Brock.
I know.
Everybody will. Well, see, the thing is, like, I completely forgot about that guy.
Yeah, one hit wonder.
The Brocks don't forget.
But yeah, and then I moved here, and that's definitely when like I started wade fishing. As I go into wade fishing in the surf, and then going and going in ankle deep water and throwing your bait out or whatever. But then definitely what sparked it, like the wade fishing, was whenever we met. Before we met Uncle Todd, we would try it out, and of course we would use waders, hot ass day, and we'd catch, but it wasn't nothing crazy. And then when we met Uncle Todd, then that's when he started like telling us, "Hey,
This is how you do
How
it.
you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
Good guy to learn from.
yeah, oh yeah. And then after that, man, I'm on almost every weekend. Pretty much anytime I could with my friends.
He'll come by the house and because he borrows my reel right now because his rod.
Yeah, my sadly, Waterloo, if you're watching this, please. I went to go cast it and it broke on me.
They got a good warranty over there. I love
Yeah,
warranty.
yeah. I just need to go to Victoria. Not
What kind of rod do you throw?
HP Light.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
definitely. It's super light and I just love the whippy action.
We were in my trout spot,
Yeah.
which because I used to talk a lot about my trout spot when we had the radio show.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be able to count and not see anybody there. Of course, I started saying where it was.
Yeah, and then
It's pretty
everyone
messed
showed up. Yeah.
Dude, the last time I went there was 4 boats there.
Yeah, it's a pretty well-known spot now. I mean, I heard back then it used to be a really good spot. I read a couple books, and then the Plugger. I
Mhm.
read the Plugger, and he definitely talked about that spot, the mouth of Corpus Christi Bay on the ICW.
Mm.
He definitely talked about that shoreline right there on that island. And man, when last time we went, it was packed.
Yeah. Well, he broke his rod. He got down,
Yeah.
first cast.
Yeah,
Nice.
out of nowhere, it was like,
Happens to the best of us.
I know.
So, Will got you started wade fishing, and I remember when we first met.
Yep.
I don't know if you had started fishing tournaments yet, but you showed me a lot of pictures. What inspired you to just go wade? Because you don't own a boat.
Yeah.
What inspired you to go wade and go searching?
Well, I guess one would say I'm pretty mad at them. Mad at the fish. No, I'm just kidding. But most of the time I should be walking into areas. And that's really, I mean, obviously a boat is not always available.
Mhm.
And I don't have a boat. So you got to kind of do what you have to do.
Yeah, try it out.
And then, just go walk in certain areas and see if it's good or not. And then just go from there.
So, what do you look for in a spot whenever you're looking? Like, if you're gonna go say, what makes you say, I'm gonna wade into this spot?
First, I get on Google Maps. That's your best friend. Google or Apple Maps, whoever takes a better picture, of the terrain. I look for structure, whether it be a reef, obviously good sand pockets, maybe a drop off ledge, just whatever you can kind of get from that Google image. And then it's all about going out there and trying it.
Mhm.
Because I can't tell you how many times, one of my close buddies, Ryan, we walked in so many times in certain areas trying to figure out just new areas to fish, and maybe 4 times out of 10 that area turned out to be good on the first try. But as you know, as the year goes by and seasons change and conditions change, some spots might be heating up while other spots are kind of slowing down. So it's just one thing I had to learn and kind of pattern with my walk-in spots.
So, how many spots would you say you have in the Corpus area?
I mean, more.
I mean, those are the most popular ones, like
yeah,
behind the church.
Right. yeah.
Those, as much as I hear it, I don't really see any people over there.
It's a long walk
Yeah.
back there,
Mhm.
and taking your vehicle back there is
Yeah.
a bit of
yeah,
a challenge
Yeah.
if it's wet. I would say probably over 20.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I mean, some spots are like 300, 400 yards down from each other. So essentially it's just a shoreline sometimes, But I would say probably over 20.
Oh wow! So, did you find yourself fishing these spots constantly, or
If-
pretty much every single time that you got a chance to go fish?
I mean, sometimes, that's a good thing about walking in is if you can either sit on that spot and just absolutely tear up fish, but sometimes I'm like, if I'm on a good bite for however long it is and I know the fish are there, I'm like, I kind of want to challenge myself and be like, no, let's go to a new area, let's go try to find something different,
Hmm.
or target something different or whatever it is. So I'll switch it up.
Okay. How do you find your spots, Carlos?
Same thing. Just Google Maps, look around. If I'm looking at the map, I'll zoom out, look wherever, I think there's fish. Like, zoom in, look for reed lines, pockets, drop off, sandbars, guts. Really pretty much, mainly I do fish for redfish. I'm not too big on the fishing for the big trout. So if I'm fishing for redfish, I'll look for like flats that I can find, flats with pockets, and maybe drop-offs. I'm a big thing on that, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you're looking, because Brock, you're trout. Trout's your fish.
Yep.
As is mine. But Carlos is different. He goes for reds.
I do.
So what do you look for whenever you're looking for a trout for a red spot?
So, like I said,
Like specifically what I'm talking about, you just mentioned like you had pockets and flats, but are you looking for current? Are you looking for, or
yeah. So I'm looking for like I'll look on my maps and I'll see flats, but I'm also seeing that if there's a channel that's pushing in water, and pushing that bait in there, and I'll fish around that channel, or I'll go and I'll fish along the bank or the shoreline, because those reds like to push the bait and try to push them and pressure them, and then it just really depends on, it really depends on like how they're eating, because if they're tailing and you're in like knee deep water, it's a sign that they're digging in that mud. And it also depends on like what you throw. So like if they're digging in the ground, you're not just gonna go throw a swim bait. You're not gonna go and find a mullet in the mud.
yeah.
So then you throw your shrimps or you throw your craw. So you really gotta like, I'm not saying do your research, but like you gotta like
Look at your conditions and adjust accordingly.
Yeah, and just
Okay.
accordingly. Yes, definitely. And if you see the reds are not eating in the mud, but they're chasing bait, then I'm gonna throw a swim bait. But yeah, I'm definitely look for like flats and pockets. Throw along the edges of pockets
Mm-hmm.
and then check if the flat has a channel running through there, pushing bait through there, pushing water.
Nice. So let's get back to tournaments. Brock, what was your first tournament you ever fished? You know what? Before you answer that question, what inspired you to fish a tournament?
When I first started fishing tournaments, it was every once in a while. Like they needed somebody, I'd go out there and fish it with them, whatever. I didn't really care too much about fishing tournaments. I guess what got me into it is just me becoming a better fisherman over time, and I'm super competitive with anything I do. Like I want to be the best at it if I can, So I guess just that competitive, thing about me, just wanted to pursue more tournaments, and it's fun fishing tournaments too. You get to fish with your best friends and go out there and compete. And
What would you say? So it's not something you really thought about. What made you take that step into actively fishing a tournament? Because you and I fished a tournament together. You guys needed me. It was a veterans tournament.
oh yeah,
But
Remember that one,
what inspired you to actually take that step and say, I'm going to fish tournaments now?
I think a big part of that was Will getting a boat. Like that was a huge part of it, because we had been talking about it for probably 2 years up to that point. Like,
So Will used to wade with you.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, he had a 25 Moscow before, and then sold it, and then he was boatless for like 2 years. So, I guess once he got a boat, that's kind of when like we were like, all right, we have an opportunity to go out there and find our own fish, and don't have to worry about somebody else's boat.
Mhm.
So that's kind of when it started, and that was late last year. So then this year we fished a ton of tournaments. I think we fished all the tournaments we possibly could have in the
Wow.
summer. And
So, what was your very first tournament you fished?
I don't remember which one it was, but
I mean,
Oh,
With
it's an
Will.
Islander Angler one.
Yeah,
Oh,
with Will. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because you were saying like
Oh, that
people
was
would
the-
just like bring you in,
Right,
like, hey,
right,
let's
yeah,
go.
yeah.
But no, the one that you said, I'm gonna go in. This is me and Will
right.
and Ryan, right?
Yeah, Ryan
Yeah.
fished a couple of us too.
And this is, we're going to start fishing tournaments.
I think it was. Oh, it was actually Todd's. I think that's like the first tournament that I can remember that we fished, Chartapalooza.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually took some time off pre-fish for that one, and ended up, catching the biggest trout of the tournament, won a side pot. So that only added to the fire, I guess.
Yeah.
I-
Winning always helps.
Yeah, I can't I fished a lot of tournaments. I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure that was like the first one where we were like on his boat,
Mhm.
everything. But
Well, and then I know the Artificial Showdown's not, it's considered a pro tournament, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you decide, we're going to make the commitment? Because it's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not.
No,
For sure.
fishing something like the Artificial Showdown is not cheap.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what's the entry fee on something like that?
Entry fee, I think we got ours pretty cheap because Calcutta, our team went for like $300. So entry fee was $225 plus the $300. So I think we paid like $300 each total.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we want to be the best someday. Like that's just what we inspired to be. All those guys that fish those tournaments, they're all guys that are like unbelievable trout fishermen. You're going up against the best in Texas, and so the more you go up against better people, the better you're going to be.
Absolutely.
And getting experience in those bigger tournaments too really help you with the smaller tournaments and just your confidence in general. So if we were to fish Legends, let's say next year, which I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we already have Showdown under our belt, so we can kind of get the jitters out and just go out there and just fish. Worry about fishing.
The Showdown?
Artificial Showdown.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So when did you make the transition to artificial? Now, are
So
you
lures,
straight lure guy or
straight lures.
straight lures?
Mhm.
When did you make that transition?
The first time I ever wade fished was with lures. I didn't, and I'll tell you a funny story of what kind of kept me away from bait. I was fishing with my brother, and this one I was like 10, I think, and he took me fishing, and we're fishing with dead shrimp, and I'm rebaiting my hook. It was a summer day, so I'm sweating, getting wiping sweat out of my eyes and everything, and I looked at him. I started not feeling good, and I was like, I think we need to go home. And I'm like, I don't feel good. And he looks at me and he's like, we need to get you to a hospital, like ASAP. And I was like, what? And then slowly after, I lost my vision and stuff.
Whoa.
Turns out I'm allergic to shellfish, deathly.
Oh.
So that's what kind of kept me away from bait and fishing in general, when I was younger. So I enjoyed lure fishing, the idea of you tricking a fish into hitting.
Yeah, not only that, you don't get anaphylactic shock from
Yeah, that is true.
plastic.
Yeah, I want to stay away from that. I don't even carry an EpiPen and I need to.
So you fish with lures. What is your go-to lure?
That depends on what time of year it is. But soft plastic wise, throwing a 6-inch Coastal Brew. K Wiggler has a ball tail I really like as well. Down south, in my opinion, is probably the most versatile lure out there.
Which one?
So, which down south?
Yeah.
What color?
No.
Or supermodel?
Like the supermodel?
Yeah, I don't ever downsize. Never. No. Even though I probably should, but I just don't. Never.
So, what makes you decide what lure you're going to use at that time? Oh no, and then for winter? Sorry.
Wintertime, our winters aren't as harsh as it may seem, water temp wise, but a pistachio corky.
Everybody
Really, I feel
likes
like
the pistachio.
I love that thing.
That's the reason
It's
why.
good. Soft Dine XL. I use a soft dime more than I do a Fat Boy, but when they're hitting Fat Boys, it's fun. It's for sure fun. But
See, because Carlos and I tried fishing with Corkies this past weekend, right?
Yeah, you gotta get the right one. You gotta get one with fluids.
Yeah. So I mean, it all depends on what where in the water column they're at.
Yeah.
But dude, I cast it. It got wrapped in on my rod.
Oh, I hate when that
And it
happens.
snapped. It snapped
Snapped
off.
your rod?
No.
Oh,
Snapped the knot. Lost the corky.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucks.
And they're not cheap.
When we were pre-fishing for the showdown, I caught this like 41-inch red, and he like inhaled my corky, and I was like, oh, dude, like he's gonna destroy it. Like there's no way.
Oh.
Take it out of the mouth, and it just looks brand new. I'm like, okay, well that's a win.
So what? Let's talk a little bit about corkies because everybody likes corkies. Everybody talks about corkies. I've only fished with corkies once,
Right.
and I think we were in about 2 foot of water, and we were using a suspending corky, probably.
The
The
floating.
wrong- Yeah. So I know there's a floating and then suspending. They sink.
Mhm.
How do you make that decision as to what you're going to use?
Like with the corky.
Yeah.
I mean, like this past week was a perfect example of when to throw a corky, right? You're catching fish that are literally so fat that they're obviously eating a bigger class bait fish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens in the wintertime. You get the small bait fish move out or they die or whatever it is. And then now all the trout are left with is a bigger class of bait fish. They have to eat that. So a good, time to start throwing corkies is when you see these fish start to fatten up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like right now you can throw a corky. We just had our first 2 cold fronts blow in. Those fish are eating good, but when
Well, they weren't Saturday.
yeah, not for us at least. I mean, first place team, I tip my hat to them. They had 30 pounds with 4 fish.
Whoa.
4 fish. Guy caught a 9.2 pounder. Like they're
That's
the best in Texas for a reason. You
Yeah.
know? I tip my hat to them.
So again, so they're starting to eat big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting to eat bigger bait fish, so you gotta match the hatch, right? That's all fishing is, matching the hatch. Summertime, you probably wouldn't throw a fat boy. Maybe the floating version, but sinking version probably not, because they're typically eating smaller class bait fish, shrimp, stuff like that. So it's really just about matching the hatch, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. So, what about you? I mean, you wanted to, I guess, first off, I don't even know how to work a corky. School me.
Well, it depends what water depth you're in,
Yeah.
obviously.
I mean, let's say 2 foot,
2 foot.
2.5.
It's really depends on what the fish are liking. Like
Mhm.
if they like 3 pops, go with 3 pops. If they like 2 pops, go with 2 pops. Mix and match.
I mean, and
Just
is
really
it
up to
slow? You work them slow because of the water temp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most guys work them pretty fast overall.
Yeah.
Like in 2 feet of water. Like there would be high pressure days, that's a bad example. There would be days where the fish are deep,
Mhm.
and you kind of have to slow it down. And but that's a great thing about a corky is it's a versatile
Yeah,
bait.
it's
You can
really
do all
versatile,
sorts of
right.
stuff with it. You can walk the dog. You can,
Really?
yeah, you can walk the dog with it like a topwater, but subsurface. There's all sorts of things you can do with it. It's just really matching what the bait's doing, and if the fish are lethargic or not, if they're deep or not. I mean, that all kind of depends.
So what are you looking for when you look for bait?
Well, in the wintertime, you have less bait.
Right.
Like you're just that's a fact. But if you do see a couple mullet jumping, like I'll get out and wait it because seeing bait is your number one indication that something is there making that bait jump.
There's
Sometimes
no-
mullet just jump to jump. They're just
Yeah.
they're stupid in a way sometimes, but 90% of the time something's making them jump. They're getting nervous about something. So
the reason why.
yeah, I mean, I'm looking for obviously the obvious things, birds diving, whatever, on bait, because typically what's under the birds is fish.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm looking for nervous, flickering of the water, like blow-ups almost, or bait doing backflips, stuff like that. But even if I just see a couple mullet jump and I know it's pretty cold outside, I'll be like, okay, well, we haven't seen bait anywhere else, so let's give it a shot and see where they're at.
Okay. Okay. What do you do? Like whenever you're looking for bait.
looking for bait flip, birds working.
So there's lyre birds. What do those look like?
The little ones?
I don't know. Todd always
Well,
talks
they're-
about lyre birds.
I guess they look a little bit more small, like they're a little bit smaller than seagulls.
Yeah, they just like go on top of the water. And
Yeah.
just, I guess that's what a lyrebird is. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, no, Todd calls them
I
lyre
mean,
birds.
I've seen them, but like I guess I don't know. Like they're white, but like I guess I
Yeah,
could
he says
describe them
they
as,
look like seagulls.
they look like seagulls, but like
And they start diving, so then, you know,
but
if you
they don't
know,
actually dive into the water. They just skim the top of the water. I mean, that's really just a lot.
I'm not sure. One thing I look for is white or brown pelicans. I mean, that's your
Yeah.
that's your giveaway right there. You know.
so pelicans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pelicans are
So we were in the
beautiful.
right spot then.
Yeah.
We just weren't on fish.
Yeah. And
Or
not
we just couldn't.
I
Yeah.
mean, again, it just really depends on what the fish want. I mean, you can throw a bait that what you like, and
Mhm.
what you think would work, but the bait or the fish think opposite. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little more about what makes Brock tick. What do you,
Tick?
yeah, what do you, you obviously work for a living.
Yeah.
Right? What would you, how often do you try to go fish?
It's slowed down quite a bit. I have a 1-year-old or 1.5-year-old now at the house, and so it's slowed down a little bit. But I mean, really, that's another reason why we started tournament fishing as well. Is because we feel like, all right, we can just go fish a tournament instead of going on the weekend.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's probably twice a month, ish.
Okay.
That fluctuates, but
So you're generally just going twice a month, pretty much whatever chance you can get, which
yeah,
having a 1.5-year-old definitely.
yeah, he's a handful.
Yeah, 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 he is. Yeah, he is. So let's go back into waiting, specifically to give information to people that, because again, you started just walking in. What gear do you recommend to someone that's listening to us that has never waited ever? What would you say is the most important thing that they need to buy? I mean, obviously, wading boots.
You don't always have to go. The one thing I will say is you don't always have to go expensive.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. You don't always have to go buy the best thing. I started off with that one the hunting brand with the deer antlers on it.
Everlast.
Yeah, Everlast. I've started with that and I've caught really great fish, honestly. So like, you don't need something super expensive.
Like, what does your setup look like? What did your initial setup look like?
Spinning rod and reel,
Yeah.
Waterloo, Phantom at the time. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to really get all expensive with it either. I mean, that fish does not care what rod you're throwing.
Mhm.
I'll tell you that. Like, they don't care as long as that rod, as long as you're comfortable with it. And as you progress as a fisherman, you're gonna obviously, might want to get into custom rods, and they're more sensitive, and they do have their positives about them. But it's really just how deep are your pockets and how much are you willing to spend. Really.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
rabbit hole. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely, because I know when I started fishing, I didn't own a Laguna rod with a Lew's tournament light.
Yeah.
I was throwing a really heavy Penn 7-foot rod, waiting,
Oh yeah. That's
with $54 boots.
Hold on. I'm gonna throw a little bit of shade. Are you gonna throw a Laguna rod and you're wearing that water blade?
Oh, because you bought it for me, that's why.
I usually wear a Waterloo hat too. I guess I missed the dress code.
Yeah, no, this is a Father's Day present, so
Yeah.
I wear it.
Well, that's nice of you.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, right now, I started, so it doesn't take very much money to get started.
No,
Absolutely not. Nope.
So when you started doing, did you start doing research whenever you got started, or was it kind of like, let me just walk in here, like, and when I mean like research, yes, you talked about Google Maps, but did you go on the internet and read about wade fishing?
Wade fishing is one of those things you just get better at as you do it over time. I don't think there's probably not very much research on it in the saltwater era, at least. Yeah, I mean, just watching YouTube videos as well. Like, I just enjoy watching fishing videos. So I'd watch, all the K Wiggler videos. I think they make awesome videos.
So I know at one point you talked a lot about K-Wing.
Yeah, I still throw them.
You still throw them?
Yeah, still throw them. I throw coastal. I throw really anything now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because you were like exclusive K-Wing at one point, no?
Yeah. I mean, I still do. I have a lot of confidence in their lures. And
So would you say, now for the people out there, are you a color guy or are you a confidence in the lure guy?
not much of a color guy. I'm more of a shade and profile guy,
Okay.
to be honest with you.
Presentation.
Yeah, presentation is everything. I think you can go in a rabbit hole about colors, and people are gonna say colors matter. They matter, but they don't matter at the same time. It's nothing to really overthink.
I'm really big on that. Like, we, of course, other people have said on here on the podcast, like, oh, it doesn't matter what color you throw, doesn't matter as long as you're confident. But I definitely say, like, that's another rabbit hole. Like,
Yeah.
there's instances where I'll throw a Coastal Brew, I'll throw like a Pothole Pimp, it's like a green and with purple, but then
Pothole Pimp is
Yeah.
a color? That's
yeah.
It's a fire color.
Yeah, that's actually or a hoochie coochie. I throw a hoochie coochie. Like it's a brown color, but I also throw like I don't know, like a brown down south, right?
Mhm.
And I'll catch fish on the Coastal Brew, but then I'll catch fish on the down south, but not as much. And I'm like, okay, that's where the
pretty much,
presentation.
yeah.
That's where the type of lure comes into play. But then also, where I'll catch fish on that color. Like it doesn't matter if I throw a Coastal Brew. Doesn't matter if I throw down
It's more
south.
about the shade.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's that's where I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, the color thing is, we could talk about it for hours,
Yeah.
but I would, I always recommend people, like, if you're fishing clear water or if it's sunny outside, little cloud cover, you're going to want to throw translucent colors.
oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah,
And then
that's-
if it's overcast or if
yeah.
the water's stained, murked up, whatever, you're going to
Give me
throw
one sec. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Car crack.
So, okay, all right. You just said something that caught my attention. Sunlight,
Yeah.
translucent colors.
Yeah, for sure. I think it just looks a little more natural in the water,
That's something shiny. You want to.
Yeah, especially in
That's-
clear water. Now,
yeah.
like if it's stained or murked up, I basically go off of the water quality. Like
Okay.
if it's stained, then I'll throw an overcast color, even though it's bluebird skies or whatever it is. But yeah, on overcast days, they're the darker colors. Like Pothole Pimp's a great one. You can go on and on about all the colors. They're good, but I stick to 3 colors of each. Don't overthink it. I never change. Never tried using a different color because color doesn't matter in my opinion. I think it's just like I said.
Presentation and just the shade of the color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I say they only have 4. They have like pink, browns, silver, and purple. So I throw. And there's all the dark, light.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, how do you make the decision as to what size lure you're going to use?
What type of, I guess like what baits there. Like if they're big, then
Bigger lure.
I mean, I just kind of, like I said, I don't downsize ever. So,
What do you? Okay, so what if you were going to go fishing right now? What would you use?
Probably some type of Corky, Soft Iron XL or Fat Boy. But yeah, I mean, downsizing for me is a down south, So I'll go from like a 6-inch Coastal Burrow or even the Deceiver to.
I got a question. So I just started using the Soft Iron XLs.
Yeah.
Is it like a top water or I guess like a twitch bait?
Not
Because,
much
like,
of a top water.
Yeah, because I threw it and it just really stayed up top. It didn't really dive down.
Yeah, you gotta let it. You gotta let it sink, and So with Corkies in general, I use like a slack line retrieve because obviously if your line's tight all the time,
Yeah.
it's gonna pop out of the water.
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of slack your line a little bit, and you can get as erratic as you want with it. when you have a slack line retrieve, and that the bait's gonna still be underwater,
Mhm.
you know. So
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's
something I
pretty
did. Yeah, that's okay. Because I'm used to working soft plastics and it's tight line the entire time.
yeah, and you can work a soft line like you would a plastic too. I mean, I've done that before, but you know, typically it's not necessarily deeper water, but you know, if you want to bounce out the bottom, obviously you're gonna have to slow it down a lot so that bait can stay down there, and then you just pop, 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 let it sink, pop. You know, you can do that too, but yeah.
Hmm. So we were talking about what would you use today?
Um, Fat boy or soft dine for sure, just because they're eating bigger baits, and you know maybe when they're not feeding, I'd probably downsize to coastal brew or even a down south. You know, it really just depends on how active the fish are too, because you'll notice in the wintertime it's either the minor happens when it's supposed to happen or the major happens when it's supposed to happen, or either it doesn't happen at all or maybe they feed a little later. And I've learned they typically feed when the pressure drops, and that's when
Yeah.
you want to, either downsize, or I mean, not downsize in that situation, but, you want to throw Corky's sometimes at them and then downsize once the pressure starts raising.
Okay, so high pressure, start downsizing.
That's what I do.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm like correct doing that, but
I mean, if it works,
yeah, I mean, it does work
yeah.
for sure.
If it works, it works.
And that's one thing we learned fishing this past week is they didn't eat when that minor, like when the minor was going on, dead.
So you
Right.
so you follow the majors and the minors.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Moon phase has a lot to do with, fish.
Would you
activity.
fish on a full moon?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we fished that tournament. It was full moon. Are you talking about like at midnight?
No.
Oh, I've done
Like
that
in the
before,
morning?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're gonna have an early minor, then a midday major. So it's. I mean, you can do good on it. It might be a little tougher than your other moon phases, but
What about a new moon?
huh?
New moon.
It's a good question. I want to say it's the same. Isn't that kind of the same?
Yeah.
Like feed time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well,
Honestly.
I mean, new one's just completely black to no moon. I'd say it'd be way better in the morning, like
Yeah.
because they don't see.
See, because one of the things that I've heard is, like, generally a lot of anglers don't like fishing after a full moon because they ate all night.
Yeah. So I mean, your morning bites can be slower.
Well, it really just depends. Well, it depends if like if there's clouds and that those clouds are blocking the full.
Oh, I
moon,
mean, yeah,
then-
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, go at them in the morning, But if it's clear and it's full moon, then I mean, if you fish hard enough, you're gonna catch fish in the morning, but they're not gonna be as crazy as the new moon in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full moon. I mean, they're gonna eat. It might be slow in the morning. It might not be. But midday is typically where it starts kicking off.
So full moon, don't have to wake up as early.
Oh, that's up to you.
Yeah.
You can't catch them on the couch.
Dude, because when we went fishing, when you guys asked me to be on that veterans tournament,
Mm-hmm.
that is the earliest I had gotten up to go fishing in a very, very long time.
What time did you wake up?
He told me to be at the boat ramp at 5:30.
Yeah, you
I'm-
gotta get there.
And I'm like, it takes 30 minutes for me to drive, get ready, and
30
drive to
minutes.
Laguna Shores.
45
I was gonna
minutes
be
to get
there.
ready.
I was gonna be there at 5:30,
Yeah.
and at 4:45, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Like,
We don't mess around nowadays. I tell you what, that's early considering other times we've gone out earlier than that. Just depends on how far we run.
right. So, one last question because you fished a pro tournament. I know. Well, is this most? I guess it's mostly for redfish tournament that they all take off. They have a numbered start. From a specific spot.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you guys were just able to launch.
Yeah. So the showdown's different from Legends. Legends, you get a boat number and then you go do your boat inspection, then you take off, and you have to take off from that location. Showdown's a little different. You can launch from anywhere, anytime. Didn't matter. You can launch at 12 o'clock if you wanted to. So
How many days was that tournament?
just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, it's about that time. Are there any? Are you sponsored by anybody? Do you want to
Not
throw a shout
sponsored.
out? Do you want
I'll
to
throw a shout out. Not sponsored, but Darren Jones at Feral Concepts
Hmm.
makes great products. Go check him out. And Waterloo rods,
Mhm.
obviously. Thrown them my entire time fishing. So
Okay.
don't plan to
Anybody
switch up.
else?
Coastal Brew, K Wigglers.
Oh,
Shout out to Todd Wilson.
Yeah. Shout out to Todd Wilson,
Shout out
who's,
to Todd
who's
Wilson.
probably the only one that's been on this entire time because we've been fluctuating between 1 and 3 people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but so Carlos, Rock, it was great having you all on the show. Of course, next
Yes,
week,
thank you.
Captain Todd's going to be back from his vacation, all nice and rested.
Sweet.
And everybody follow our Facebook page, linesinthewaterpodcast.com. Join the group because I do post pictures over there of like I called it Behind the Mics. So Lines in the Water podcast group. And then you can listen to this podcast on audio on your favorite podcast platforms, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and then you can watch the video of it on YouTube. So, Carlos, Brock, tight lines.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
You're supposed to say tight
My
lines.
bad. Tight line.
Tight lines.